So thank you, Professor Chan, Dean Amon, and President Gertler. I am deeply humbled to receive this recognition and honor. And I am thrilled to address all of you, parents, families, friends, faculty, university leaders, and dignitaries, and of course, all of you, graduates of 2016. Congratulations. So let me begin by saying that while I stand before you, the proud recipient of an honorary degree from this esteemed university, as an undergraduate, sitting at my own graduation ceremony, I had almost no clue where my life would lead me. What I knew at that point was that much of what I was trained to do, mechanics, statics, dynamics, I actually could not see as my life's career. I hope I didn't offend any of you professors. I can tell you, I was pretty concerned about my future, and I was beginning to think I might spend my whole life pursuing various directions only to find out what I didn't want to do rather than what I did want to do. So this is all to say that if you're sitting there with some uncertainty about your future, know that no one sitting where you are sitting right now knows what's next. I would be willing to bet that U of T's Frederick Banting and Charles Best didn't know they would discover insulin. Roberta Bondar, U of T class of 1974, likely didn't imagine being Canada's first female astronaut and the first ever neurologist in space. And even if he had put together a top 10 list of the places he would go, could Paul Schaefer, sitting where you are sitting today, really have predicted being David Letterman's band leader and sidekick for all those years? So this leads me to my first piece of advice. Take risks, look for and be open to opportunities, and embrace uncertainty. In short, sorry parents, lose the detailed life plan. It's simply too limiting. You can't possibly know today exactly how you will make your mark on the world. You can only know that surely you can make a mark. So in my first year after undergraduate studies, I was working as a planning and scheduling engineer. My boss told me that I had the potential, with time, to become the first woman lead engineer overseeing the construction of one of the stations in the Washington, D.C. metro system. This plan provided a direction for my life, but it wasn't exciting to me. Where's the growth if you're pretty much certain you can succeed at what you are planning to do? Where's the fun if you're not challenged and pushed? And how do you have commitment and drive if you aren't passionate about what you are doing? So I decided that although I didn't know what the right path for me was, this was not it. I followed my interests. And because that meant pursuing further education in engineering, operations research, decision science, and transportation systems, opportunities I would never have dreamed of presented themselves. And the possibilities and opportunities have only increased for your generation. You are about to hold in your hands one of the hottest tickets out there today, a degree in applied science and engineering. You can go in any direction, even directions you cannot imagine right now. Whether you are tackling complex manufacturing, product, or system design problems, envisioning cities of the future or improving those of today, harnessing the power of big data analytics and optimization algorithms, or addressing any of the myriad of other critical world challenges, they all require technological innovation, analytics, computation, engineering, and applied science. And you, graduates You, with these skill sets, will not only command a premium in today's economy for years to come, you can, and we need you to, change the world. So my second piece of advice is, don't let others define how you will succeed in your career. I can't stress this enough. There's more than one path to the mountaintop. So here's some of the advice that I received and ignored from well-meaning colleagues. First, I was told, while on the track to tenure, do not work with more senior professors. They will surely get credit for your ideas, and you'll be denied tenure. And related advice, don't have children until after you are awarded tenure. What did I do? The exact opposite. As a junior faculty member, I collaborated with some of the most famous senior faculty members in my field and asked for the advice that you should put off life decisions like having children to ensure that you succeed professionally. Well, both of my daughters were born while I was untenured. These collaborations and life choices were not only incredibly rewarding and fun, they have been essential to my success. I am convinced I would neither be a tenured professor at MIT nor a member of the U.S. National Academy of Engineering without them. So, and more advice that I got. When I was working at Georgia Tech as a young faculty member, my husband and I were commuting between Boston and Atlanta, and we were trying, not particularly successfully for 4 years, to both find careers in the same city. One of my colleagues advised, settle. Settle for a faculty position at a lesser university. Clearly, it isn't impossible for you both to get what you want. Well, I didn't settle, and neither should you. These well-intentioned advisors seemed willing to accept traditional solutions and the status quo. They were telling me what they did and the choices they made to be successful in their careers. But what works for one person doesn't work for everyone, and what works for one generation doesn't work for another. So I challenge each of you to not believe what you hear, even when so many people seem to say the same things. I challenge you to rewrite the rules and reimagine the solutions, both to the challenges in your life and to the challenges plaguing our world. Now, I know that a freshly minted graduate, you might not feel that you have the power to rewrite rules and reimagine solutions, but trust me, you will have these opportunities to do exactly that, and it's up to you to take those opportunities. Bottom line, I have pretty much ignored all advice ever given to me. So that leads me to my third and last piece of advice. I saved this for last because you would likely have ignored me from the start if I had begun with this. So here goes. While it's important to listen to and learn from people who give you advice, and there will be many who will, remember you don't have to take their advice. Their advice worked for them. It's advice that reflects their own personalities, their own life trajectories, and their own dreams. Chances are you are different. As engineers and applied scientists, you are all analytical problem solvers. Don't accept solutions for life's challenges as those of the past. You have the power and the capabilities to adapt them to life for your generation and to define them to match your personal goals and your aspirations. So let me close by saying that one of the first things I did when I started to think, and yes, stress about making this speech was to ask my two daughters what they thought I should say. They're 23 and 21 years old, so I figured they'd have good perspective. Their advice was, no cliches. Don't plagiarize someone else's speech. That was good advice. Be funny, but then they said, forget that, that's not happening. And finally they said, most importantly, be brief. So I have probably fallen short in their eyes, but success today is about you, the graduates of the class of 2016. Each and every one of you has succeeded. You have worked hard, you have shown perseverance, determination, and grit. And hopefully along the way, you have found curiosity and passion and experienced intellectual and personal growth. You have earned one of the most valuable degrees of our time. What you might not fully appreciate is you can take that degree and go in any direction you choose. Just know the world is counting on you. Good luck and happy travels.